Last year, the best performing stock in the entire market was a company that had almost gone bankrupt the year before. Nobody had heard of it. And the single biggest winner of the whole year? It made few people unbelievably rich and then wiped out almost everyone else who touched it. I'll come back to that one. It's the most important lesson here. I pulled back every stock that went up 10 times or more last year, went through all of them. And what they taught me is the opposite of what most people think. You almost never can catch one of these, and the few that are real, you can only spot them if you understand what the company actually does. That's the whole video. Let me show you why. Because once you see it, you stop wasting time on the wrong ones. So, how I did it? I pulled the list myself. Free site, stockanalysis.com. You sort every company by how much it went up. You can do this tonight. Costs zero. I asked it for everything up 10 times in a year. Out of more than 5,000 companies, 14. That's it. So when someone's selling you 10 beggars by the dozen, the maths already says they are lying. 14 was tiny, so I opened it up to everything up 6 times or more, about 50. And going through them one at a time, they sorted into 3 kinds and buckets. 2 you can't catch, 1 you can, but only if you do the work. The ones you can't predict, first kind, the small drug company called Abivax. Quiet, said around $10 a share, nobody watching. One night it put out results from a drug trial. Next morning, before coffee, it was up 4 times over. One morning. That's the dream, that's what everyone chases. But let's look at a different company called Liposign. Same size, same thing, one drug, one trial, one morning. Its drug didn't work. It lost 3/4 of its value before breakfast. Same setup, opposite morning, and the night before, nobody could have told you which way it would go. Because in the drug world, about 9 out of 10 experiments fail. 9 out of 10. So winning isn't the likely result. Losing is. The big winner is the freak. First lesson, if the whole company is riding on one date you can't predict, it's not an investment, it's a coin toss. You can admire it, you can't build your plan on it. So, the proof too, the ones that are fake. Second kind made me a little angry. That's a company on the list that sold furniture, sofas, you might have heard of it. It was called Nova Lifestyle. Last year it said it was moving into AI, changed its name and the stock took off. It didn't change the business, but it changed the story. Another one makes breathing machines. Few weeks ago, it renamed itself Quantum. It does not do anything with quantum. Another one said it's going to buy the crypto. Again, pushed up. But now it's with the regulators and under investigation. Same trick every time. A weak little company grabs a hot word, AI, quantum, crypto, and the money turns up before anyone checks if there is a business underneath. And the chart looks exactly like a real winner. Same line going up. The chart can't tell you which is real, only the business can. So the question is never how high did it go, it's did they change the business or just the name. The real one, you can say what it does in a sentence. The fake one, you get a buzzword and an awkward silence. Proof 3, the one you could actually catch. Third kind, the real ones. This is where it gets useful. Because the best stock in the whole market last year was a company called 10x'd. They make little gray wafer. It carries light between the chips in an AI data center. Boring. A year before, the stock looked half that. Then AI took off and every data center on Earth needed exactly what they made. Here is the part that stuck with me. While the stock was going to the moon, the company's sales were actually going down. Best stock in the market. Sales falling, same year. The market wasn't paying for last year. It always is paying for the orders that are coming next. And once I saw that, the rest of the real ones looked quite similar. SanDisk, Micron, Western Digital, memory. Lumentum, optical parts. Bloom Energy, power. None of them famous, all selling the boring parts the big AI names had to buy by the truckload. You didn't have to guess who would win the AI race. You just had to see they all buy from the same few suppliers. And one thing that genuinely surprised me, you would think this list was all AI. It wasn't. Almost as many of the biggest winners last year were gold and silver miners. In the year everyone called the AI year, half the real money came from the ground. So let me pull back for a second, because once you've seen enough of these, they all move the same way. And this is the part that's actually worth keeping. A 10-bagger almost never starts as a great company everyone loves. It starts as a company nobody wants, cheap, ignored, written off like 10x'd was. Then one thing changes that nobody saw coming. A new kind of demand, a shortage, one enormous order. And here is the key, because nothing good was priced in. When the good thing finally shows up, the stock doesn't move up politely, it explodes, because everyone has to change their mind about it at the same moment. That's the whole engine, low expectations meeting a sudden change, which flips how you go looking. You are not hunting for great companies are already expensive, everyone already knows. You are hunting for ignored ones, where something just changed and the price hasn't caught up yet. That's hard. It means watching the boring corners nobody else is watching. And hold that thought, because it's the whole reason this video ends where it does. The biggest winner, I promised you at the start, the single biggest stock of the year wasn't 10x'd. It was a company called Sell, up nearly 200 times. 200, almost no sales. A herbal remedy. The founder owned nearly the whole thing himself. You would think it would top my list of real winners. It does not, but it's not on the list at all. Because by the time I looked, it had already dropped 3/4 and the people running it are under investigation. So the biggest number of the entire year belonged to the one stock that wiped out almost everyone who believed in it. That number was never money anyone kept. It was just the highest it ever got for one afternoon. So, if you are out there hunting the next 10-bagger, here is the truth. 2 of 3 kinds you can't really catch, a coin toss or a costume. The third you can, but only if you can actually see what's going on in the kitchen. But here is the checklist I ran. Can I name the thing the world suddenly needs from this company? Is the whole story riding on one date? I can't predict. Did they change the business or just the name? And is that big number where it landed or just where it peaked? And the ones I would actually buy? Real cash flow in a sector the world suddenly needs. A business, not a rising line. But I'll be honest with you, even with all of that, you'll still miss most of them. Because remember, the winners hide in the boring corners nobody's really watching. And they pop the day something changes. Nobody can watch every ignored company every day. That's not the smarts problem. It's a time problem. And that's the one thing AI actually changes. It can watch the corners, I can't. But here is the part nobody tells you. It's not magic. I asked 5 different AIs for hidden stocks and they didn't even agree with each other. Some pointed at something real, some at total noise. The AI widens what you can look at. It doesn't tell you what's true. You still have to look in the kitchen yourself. And that's what the 4 checks are for. The first time I ran this, one of those AIs put a $63 billion company in front of me. The hard part wasn't finding it. The hard part was understanding that it was wrong. That's the video I'm suggesting you to watch if you haven't yet. Thanks for watching today. Bye-bye.